All right, if you are a focused data professional looking for that ultimate blueprint to level up your cloud engineering career, you are in the exact right place. Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're taking a highly structured, deep dive into Tech Horizon's complete guide to the SnowPro Core Certification. We're going to cut through all the noise, focus on exactly what you need to know, and, frankly, give you the tools to absolutely conquer this exam. Let's get right into it. So, are you ready to master Snowflake? Because look, we aren't just talking about grabbing another quick tech badge to, toss on your resume. We're talking about preparing for one of the absolute most in-demand, highly respected data certifications in the entire tech industry today. I mean, Snowflake's market adoption has literally exploded. Thousands of major enterprises are migrating their data infrastructure over to it right now because of its unique cloud-native architecture. And what does that mean for you? It means the industry is practically begging for engineers who truly understand how to wield it. Nailing this opens massive doors for sure, but you really have to be ready to put in the focused work.
To get us to that level of mastery, we're relying on a truly fantastic source. We're tapping into the insights of our seasoned mentor for this journey, Anand Vemula from the Tech Horizon channel. Anand's complete guide is essentially the definitive map we're using for this explainer. He's already done all the heavy lifting, right? He's figured out what works, identified the tricky pitfalls, and completely streamlined the curriculum. So we're going to break his entire framework down step by step, so you can essentially just replicate his success.
Okay, here's our quick agenda for today's explainer. Number 1, your Tech Horizon guide. 2, what is SnowPro Core? 3, breaking down the exam. 4, essential certification strategies. And finally, number 5, your next steps.
All right, jumping right into Section 1, your Tech Horizon guide, mapping the journey.
Now, when you're tackling a massive certification like this one, you have to realize that cognitive overload is absolutely your biggest enemy. It is so incredibly easy to just get lost in the weeds. So first things first, you must consciously avoid documentation overload. Snowflake's official documentation is brilliant, don't get me wrong, but it is vast. It covers literally every edge case, every minor update, and every deeply technical configuration possible. Trying to just read it from start to finish, yeah, that's a guaranteed recipe for burnout. Second, you have to leverage structured blueprints. You need a highly curated plan, not just a giant mountain of reading material. And third, follow expert-led pathways. Relying on a non-structured guide on Tech Horizon is super critical because it keeps your focus completely dialed in on the core architectural concepts that actually move the needle. This ensures you don't waste dozens of hours memorizing obscure trivia that honestly simply won't even show up on the test.
Moving on to Section 2, what is SnowPro Core? Defining the goal. So, the SnowPro Core Certification is officially defined as the foundational credential validating an individual's expertise in applying core Snowflake expertise to implement and migrate cloud data. But here is the crucial point. This exam doesn't just test your ability to memorize some SQL syntax or, click around a user interface. No, it validates that you can actually apply Snowflake's unique architecture to real-world cloud data implementations and really complex migrations. Think about what migrating legacy on-premise data warehouses to the cloud actually entails. It requires a deeply practical understanding of security, data sharing, and compute scaling. Achieving this credential signals to the entire tech industry that you possess a battle-tested understanding of modern data engineering principles. And this is exactly why passing this exam so profoundly impacts your career trajectory. It basically proves you're fully ready to handle the data infrastructure of the future.
All right, Section 3, breaking down the exam, the domains.
To actually pass this exam, there are a few foundational pillars you absolutely must master. Let's look at cloud architecture, data movement, and performance optimization. First up, cloud architecture. This tests your grasp of Snowflake's revolutionary multi-cluster shared data model. You need to intimately understand how it centralizes storage while keeping compute nodes completely independent, and how the cloud services layer sits right on top to manage metadata, security, and optimization. Honestly, it's this complete decoupling of storage and compute that changes everything. Next is data movement. This covers the vital processes of loading and unloading data efficiently and, of course, securely. You're going to need to really understand the mechanics of internal versus external stages, the copy command, and how to utilize Snowpipe for continuous data ingestion. Finally, performance optimization. This tests your ability to make queries run lightning fast without blowing up your company's budget, because remember, since Snowflake charges for the compute time you actually use, inefficient queries literally cost real money. You have to know when to scale out by adding more clusters to handle high concurrency versus exactly when to scale up by using larger virtual warehouses for those really complex queries. The Tech Horizon Guide is engineered specifically to help you conquer every single one of these complex conceptual layers, ensuring you have absolute clarity on test day.
Section 4. Essential Certification Strategies. Anand's Playbook.
So the absolute biggest difference between passing and failing this exam comes entirely down to your mindset. If you go in with a failing mindset, which is basically just attempting the rote memorization of the documentation, those scenario-based questions are going to easily trick you. You simply cannot brute force this test. Passing requires a deep, truly intuitive understanding of Snowflake's unique architecture. You really have to grasp the why behind the technology, not just the what. Why does Snowflake separate compute from storage? Why and when exactly should you use micropartitions and clustering keys? How does time travel actually work under the hood? When you truly understand the architectural logic driving the platform, you don't even need to memorize the answers. The correct options on the exam just kind of become obvious, because they're the only answers that mathematically and logically align with how Snowflake is actually built.
To turn that passing mindset into reality, here is the concrete, highly actionable 3-step playbook we pulled directly from Anand's guide. Step 1. Review core documentation. But use it purposefully to fill in your specific knowledge gaps, okay? Not as a textbook to read cover to cover. Step 2. Master architecture concepts. Now this is where the magic happens. This is where you should spend the vast majority of your study time, really ensuring you understand how all the microservices fit together. And step 3. Take practice exams. This is absolutely critical. You are facing a 115-minute exam with 100 questions. That essentially gives you 1 minute per question. You must test your knowledge under pressure to identify your weak points and practice your time management before the real thing. This highly structured approach strips away all that anxiety and makes passing this notoriously difficult exam feel completely achievable for any dedicated professional.
And finally, Section 5, your next steps, the final push.
Anand Vemula's guide is designed for one primary thing: mastering the SnowPro Core Certification. But look, while this complete guide provides the absolute perfect map, you are the one who actually has to walk the path. You now know the specific domains to focus on, you completely understand the necessity of a proper architectural passing mindset, and you have a really clear, step-by-step playbook to get you there. So now is the time to stop stressing about the vast amount of information scattered all over the internet and start ruthlessly executing this structured study plan.
So, I'm going to leave you with this lingering, provocative challenge. When will you get certified? Seriously, do not let this remain just some vague goal for someday. Commit to a definitive timeline today. Book the actual exam date right now to force the function. Follow the Tech Horizon roadmap we've outlined here and take decisive action today. You've got the blueprint. Now, go build the expertise. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and best of luck on your certification journey.